Hey, good morning, Ram family. This is Dr. Kuhn. Today is Friday, April 24th. This is your daily update. And this is going to be the last daily update. We're going to switch to doing a Friday recap. The reason being that, the news that I have to share with you has really kind of slowed to a trickle. Early on in this day, I've been doing videos Monday through Friday, pretty much from the beginning of this coronavirus closure. And at the beginning, there was a ton of news about, are we going to close? Are we going to open? And then as those closures got extended, there were questions about, kind of immediate things that were going on. And then lately, with the news that the governor's closed all schools in the state of Texas until, through the end of the school year, a whole lot of big decisions had to be made. So we came out with that frequently asked questions document. And now things have kind of settled into a sense of kind of normalcy of what we're doing. So there's not as much curiosity out there, and as a result, the viewership of these videos has declined. We were at the beginning, we had 1,000 people watching a day, and then it was 500 or 600, and then here recently now it's about 300, 200, and even under 200 yesterday. So I'm not sure the demand is there for these daily videos. So we're going to switch to doing a video every Friday, kind of a recap of what has happened during the week. Of course, if anything big comes out from Texas Education Agency or any big local decision in our school district, gets made that we need to get word out, I'll put out a video at that time. But basically, you can be looking forward to Friday video recaps. So a couple things I want to mention today. Adopt a Ram is, boy, it's been the outpouring of support in our community to the point where almost every senior participating has multiple people adopting them and celebrating them. It's just been wonderful, but they still do have need, as some folks, some of our seniors are just now signing up for this thing. And it was a deal where you had to opt into it because the school can't really share student addresses and personal information like that. So this has to be a thing where the parents of the student opt in and provide that information for the organization doing this. This is being sponsored by some really great people. It's not really a school sponsored thing. It's more of a community project graduation sponsored thing, but we certainly appreciate what they're doing. So I want to show you a couple things on our website, a couple of resources that might help you out. If you go to www.mwisd.net and you scroll down, the two new buttons there, and I say new, they've been up for weeks now. We had a very quick response with our public information office and our technology website office and our curriculum people that all work together. The first resource I want to highlight is the coronavirus button, and it has our coronavirus planning. This is the announcement that we're closing until further notice. And then here you see just a lot of things related to coronavirus that have come out during this time, related to internet access and related to counseling, in-home learning opportunities. Then if you go back to our homepage, you see this button that says Home Learning. This is where we have collected the resources that we have available to us to help parents educate at home, and you can see there the links. I'm not going to click through. You can kind of explore that on your own, but I wanted you to be aware that those are there. And the other thing I want to show you on our website, if you scroll all the way down to recent news, which is at the bottom of the home page when you land at MWISD.net, you'll see in English and Spanish, MWISD end of year FAQ for parents and students. This is a very important document. It has changed. When it first came out, it was just basically kind of a Word document. But Ms. Bullock has taken and put that in this format where instead of having to read every question and then sort through the long answers to some of them to get to the next question, now it's just the questions listed, and you can click on the ones that are relevant to you. So that's a very, very handy thing for you, hopefully. The other thing I want to say, from the commissioner's call yesterday, you're going to probably start seeing some cars at our schools, and what that is teachers going up and getting their personal belongings and things out of their classrooms. And just, I don't want anybody to be alarmed or concerned that we're violating any kind of order. The TEA commissioner yesterday stressed that the governor's orders allow for that as long as we as schools follow the social distancing guidelines. And so we're going to be doing that. We're not going to allow more than 10 people in a wing of the building at a time. And They're going to be separated anyway because they're each going to be in their classroom getting their stuff. But we're also going to require that they wear masks. And the commissioner, in his remarks yesterday, was very clear that if they didn't have masks, they could wear like a bandana or some other face covering. So we will be following all of those rules as we do this. But if you drive by one of our schools one day and you see cars up there, that is what's going on, and we are adhering to all the requirements of the governor's orders on that. The other thing I'll tell you, this also was in the commissioner's phone call yesterday. Students entering buildings is not allowed under the governor's orders. And if you happen to have read this document right here, the FAQ, and you went down to our graduation statement, which is in here somewhere, will MWISD's closure impact graduation? You'll notice when you read that, that during the week of May 11th through the 18th, we're going to have seniors come up to the school with a small group of invited family members, guests, and they're going to walk across the stage. We're going to video that, and we're going to take photos of that. They're going to receive their diploma. And so technically right now under the governor's orders, that is not allowed. We are hopeful that the governor will be releasing some additional guidance that will allow things like that. He's aware that schools have graduations coming up in late May. And so part of his strike force for reopening the state of Texas, there is an education subgroup that is looking into things like that. And this is a tentative plan that assumes that there will be some sort of order allowing students to enter the building. I do want to explain, this will take place in the auditorium and not on Ram Stadium. And I want to explain the reason for that. Number one, when you're only going to have 6 people in the audience, you don't need the big set of bleachers out at Ram Stadium. But the real reason is, in order to get all 160 plus graduates across the stage, when you're giving each one of them a 15-minute slot, you're not going to be able to do that in one evening. That's going to take, it's going to be a week's worth of really long days to get all of these kids graduated one at a time. And so over the course of a week, we don't know if it's going to rain or not on those days, and we're having to schedule this out, in the future. So the safest way to do it is just to do it inside the auditorium where you have some control over the weather and things like that. So that is the plan on that. I have had a lot of people send me questions about what if we don't have our cap and gown. And the other thing I've gotten several questions is, when is my student's appointment for this? And the answer to that second question is, I don't think they know that yet. I think they're working on scheduling everybody, and then they're going to send something out as soon as they have that worked out. And on caps and gowns, I've been advising people just to email the high school principal. That's Doug Funk. His email address is dfunk@mwisd.net. So to end with, like I said, we're going to go to Friday videos instead of daily videos. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email the person that is most appropriate to email. If it's a campus-related question, your best bet is to email the principal. Of course, if it's a classroom-related question, the best person to email is the teacher. But if you don't know email addresses, or you're not sure who has the answer to your question, you can always email coronavirus@mwisd.net, and we will make sure the appropriate person gets your email, and we will try to get you an answer as quickly as we can. We want you to be informed, to know what's going on, to have your questions answered. I do appreciate everyone's cooperation through this incredibly tumultuous time as we've made this huge transition from schooling the way we're used to it to this new model. And it is absolutely my hope that we are back face-to-face with our kids next fall, and maybe even sometime during the summer for the kids in summer school. But that all remains to be seen, depending on what the virus does and what our officials, say that we need to do to keep ourselves safe. MWISD, first and foremost, will always be committed to the safety and well-being of our students. So we'll do what we have to do to keep them safe. Thank you so much for watching, and we will do this again next Friday.